video about making my own dry shampoo because dry shampoo is something that I find very useful. It's something that I know works for the type of hair that I have, but I'm not sure if it will work for everybody. A lot of commercial dry shampoos are filled with nasty chemicals that I don't want anywhere near my body. So we all know that our scalp produces oil, and even though that oil is good for our hair and nourishes our hair, it's not necessarily accepted to have oily hair in our society. But shampooing with shampoo and water can strip these oils from our hair, and we need these oils to keep our hair healthy. And for a lot of us, shampooing with shampoo and water leads to our hair having to be dried and then styled, often using heat, and heat can be really damaging for our hair. So I'm trying to avoid using heat on my hair in an effort to make it more healthy. So this is why I reach for the dry shampoo. When I let my hair dry naturally, it's just not the look that I want, and I think that this is a whole other video topic, but for me, I feel like it's important to look professional, and I know that means conforming to what society views as professional, but I think it's just a reality that if I want to make a certain mark on the world, then I need to look a certain way. However, there's some information out there about why dry shampoos, even natural ones like the one I'm going to make, are actually harmful for your hair. And I read an article on mindbodygreen.com that cautions the overuse of any dry shampoo because it clogs your follicles, your hair follicles, and that can eventually lead to hair loss down the road. So what they recommend is that if you do need to use dry shampoo, to use it sparingly and infrequently, and make sure that you brush it through your hair rather than letting it sit and be concentrated on your scalp. I'll also link that article below in the description box so that you can read it. And like anything, I say do your own research. There's tons of information out there, but I like to have it on hand for certain situations. So here's a nice recipe that you can make at home, and it's pretty cheap, and you might already have a lot of these things in your house. You'll need cornstarch and some cosmetic clay. And if you have darker hair like I do, you might want to include some cocoa powder or cinnamon or both, so it blends better in your hair. You also might find it useful to have some bowls, a spoon, a funnel. You'll also need a container to hold it. I like to use an old cinnamon shaker because it already has the shaking abilities that make it easy to apply to my scalp. And you might want to have some essential oils. It adds a nice scent. I like to use peppermint. So we can start with our cosmetic clay. I have it in my mixing bowl, and whether you have light or dark hair, you can start with this, and you can add some cornstarch. Both of these things are going to help absorb the oils. So I'm just going to mix it, and it's already pretty brownish gray. Don't breathe this in when you're mixing, that's not safe. So like if you have a light brown hair or blonde hair, this might be good for you. Even more cornstarch maybe to make it lighter. So this is too light for my hair. If I were to put this in my hair, I think that it would be very visible, even if I were to rub it in. So I'm going to add some cocoa powder. Mix it up. And it's starting to smell like dessert. but don't eat it because it's very dry. And you probably just shouldn't eat it. Although I think you could eat it. Just don't eat it. Okay, it got a little bit darker, but I'm gonna add some more cocoa powder. Make it even darker. Just throw it all in. I think I made too much for my container. Alright, that didn't really make it that much darker, so maybe I'll add more. But first I'll add some cinnamon. The cinnamon obviously makes it smell really nice, and it adds kind of like an auburn color. Or a cinnamon color. Okay, that's maybe too much. Let's see. Okay, it's pretty nice. I'm gonna go ahead and get some more cocoa powder to hopefully make it a little bit darker. And then we can add our essential oil. Okay. Let's just go ahead and add it in. Okay, so this is probably good for my hair color. It's a little bit light, but this is the color I usually get to because I don't want to add like 5 cups of cocoa powder. But it does blend pretty well. Might as well just add this last little bit. But it does blend really well when you put it on your roots and you brush it through and like tussle your hair. It smells kind of like, don't inhale it. It smells kind of like Christmas or just dessert. So you can leave it like this and smell like chocolate, which is nice. Or you can add some essential oils. So what I like to add is peppermint because it works really nicely with the chocolate smell. The chocolate peppermint works together. You can add something like lavender, or I think I have like orange and eucalyptus and rosemary even. But like I said, I think the peppermint works the best with the other scents that are already here. So I'll add about 10 drops and mix it up. And I like the peppermint also because it is a nice fresh smelling scent. I'm making a mess. Alright. Now I've got a nice chocolatey, cinnamony, peppermint cake powder, dry shampoo to put on my hair. So now I'm going to transfer it into my jar, my shaker. There's some left over at the bottom from last time. You can use a funnel if you have one. And just kind of scoop it in. Now I made too much. If you make the same mistake, just give it to a friend or put it in another jar, save it for later. This will last me a really long time, especially if I decrease the amount that I'm using, because I don't want my hair to fall out, but I don't want oily hair. But I don't want to wash it every day, so if I use it sparingly, it'll last a really long time. And it's pretty inexpensive, especially if you already use these ingredients for other things. You know, if you buy all the ingredients just to make dry shampoo, it's kind of a bigger investment that you're making, but at least you'll have this stuff on hand if dry shampoo is something that you see yourself using for a long time. Alright, that's probably enough. I do have a lot left over. Have to find another container. Okay, so that's what it is. That's what it looks like. And I think it looks pretty nice, and it's durable and it's in glass, so it looks nicer. So now I'll try to demonstrate what the process is to apply it. I mean, it's super easy, but like if you're not doing anything else, just keep watching. So if you can't really see, I could use a hair wash, but I just styled it not too long ago. So I want this heat damage to last as long as possible. So I'm just gonna put in some, I'm gonna shake some on top of my head and kind of like rub it in. Also, maybe don't wear your favorite shirt when you're doing this. Usually I'll try to do it before I change into my outfit for the day, because if you get cocoa powder on, it's kind of hard to just brush it off. But I don't know how to stand, but you can, you know, it'll come out in the wash. Or sometimes what I'll do is I'll just shake it into my hand. So I think that's what I'm going to do today. You could shake it right on and rub it in and brush it through, but I'm going to shake it onto my hand so that I don't get it on my shirt. Just put a little bit there. And then whoa. So like, I don't know if you can really tell, but definitely absorb some of the oil, and my hair looks a little cleaner and fresher, and it definitely smells nicer than it did before. So before you go out, just make sure that you check, make sure there's no residue, and hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe.